And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. Our show today comes to you from the traditional and unceded territory of the Tsimshian people. Women in leadership play a crucial role in achieving organizational success, encouraging innovation, and supporting economic growth. McKinsey & Company, one of the largest and oldest consulting firms, reports that companies with higher female representation in executive positions are 25% more likely to attain above-average profitability. Now let us revisit the recent Nation and Nations Women's Gathering panel discussion titled Taking Chances.
And I think that there's this connotation, right, where sometimes we feel like as women we get pitted against one another and we have to look at things from a competitive lens instead of a cooperative lens. And yeah, I would encourage everybody. I still sometimes catch myself doing it. You'll walk into a room with somebody and you'll think, oh, but that woman is so much prettier than me. That woman is so much more accomplished than me. Instead of feeling like, wow, that's someone really incredible standing right there. Maybe I should go and start a conversation and we could do something cool together or support one another. Shereen?
Having that doubt, like I was saying earlier, can be very crippling. And I've quit so many times. I've stayed at vendors for so long. And I listened to those people. They told me, I'm not allowed to do this. I'm not allowed to do that. Or you're a woman, you're not able to. It's not in our culture that you do that. And all these other things that they were saying from my own people. But also from my own people were the elders that said, yes, it's about time somebody did that. Thank you for stepping up to do that. And I stopped listening to the other people and I started listening to my elders because they're the ones that are teaching me. They're the ones that are giving me the knowledge I need to do my best, to live the life that I want and to lift up the culture. And that's what I'm doing. I do it by harvesting. I do it by teaching. And I do it by giving you guys knowledge whenever you come to my table or to my store. And that's the biggest thing, is to make sure that you're listening to yourself and to your circle of people. If somebody's doubting you, they're not your circle. You can let them go over there and stay over there because that's where they belong. Their circle is somewhere else. Your circle is here with your people. And hold on to them. Stick with them and keep going and doing what you need to do, because when you love what you do, people will know. They will see that. And I love what I do. And you know that. My husband loves what he does. My daughter loves what she does. She's a year one electrician. My son is a semi-driver. He loves what he does. He's always on the road. We only see him like a couple hours a day or a couple of days a week. And it shows. You know, when you love what you do, people are going to come to you and gravitate to you because you're doing what they want to do. And you're just going to say, well, you can do it too. Come on, let's go. I'll help you. And that's what we do. We're nurturers.
I would say judgment is absolutely inevitable. It doesn't matter the decisions that you take. Someone will always have an opinion. It's just always going to be that way. And so why not take the decisions that foster your happiness and your growth? And it took me a long time to figure out how to reframe it in my mind, because I constantly had the what are people going to think of me? That was always there. And I had to switch it to, if I do not take this decision, what will I think of myself? And that really shifted me to have more self-respect rather than worry about external approval. And that was a game changer for me. And it was really fascinating in my journey to realize that the judgment I was most scared of was actually coming from myself. It was my own expectations. It was my own inner critic. And I really had to power through how to change that mindset and not lower my expectations, but add more trust, like not be so in control, like give myself permission to let loose, not know the answers, and just explore things a little bit more freely. And the last thing I just want to land on, and it was commented to, but it's this. This is where we need to hone in on it and have those conversations. Whether you're the one speaking it or listening to it, there's so much to take away from communicating and learning from one another. And that gives us each our own permission to start moving past judgment and not letting it hold us back anymore.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thank you for staying with us. Opportunities frequently arise when you are intentionally setting the stage for them, instead of just merely hoping they occur by coincidence. This requires being ready and taking initiative so that when the opportunity does present itself, you can identify and take advantage of it. Let us return to the conversation with Allison.
Wow. This is, it's really, this whole session has been so powerful. I was saying to somebody at my table, sometimes you put yourself in a headspace where you're all business and you sort of come into a room and you really got your focus on, and you sort of block out and miss what's there. And you're really speaking to this idea of trust. I've worked in the corporate environment for a long time, and so really used to being in control, making sure we had our plans, making sure we're checking off lists, everyone knows what they're doing. And when I started Monogram, what I knew was that I was really good at being a good communications person. What I didn't know was how to run a business. And so I really had to step back and let the universe provide. And it was very strange for me. It felt very scary to let go and watch for signs. But what I really picked up in this room is that this feeling of awareness and leaning into what's out there, whether it's a new connection, a new person in your life, a penny on the ground. There's something in front of you that's communicating to you what's next. And I think just getting out of that headspace of focus and opening yourself up is really what leads to what's next, if you can trust it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so funny. We think about the whole concept of soft skills and this negative connotation around soft skills. And as women, we have so many of them. That is our intuition. And honestly, that is your greatest asset in business, as a community member, as a family member. You already know inside of you what the path forward is. Shireen?
I just want you all to get out of this that you're an individual. Your love for something might not be something for somebody else, and that's okay. And you can't judge them for that. And they can't judge you for what you're doing and what you're going through. You can help each other to get through the tough times, the fun times, the happy times, all of it. But it's all about being together as people. True. Getting to know each other without judgment. And so that's what I do at my table. I don't judge you about what you want. That's why I have so much at my table, because I know there's some people want this and some people want that and some people want that. And I know everything about all the stuff on my table, so I'm gonna say yes. If that's what you need, that's what you need. You can take that. And being able to have that communication with you is huge. I don't know all your names, but if you tell me stuff that you want me to know, and I can tell you what product it is that you need, and being able to have that intuition of letting you just browse and continue on, or giving you the full story about behind what it is that I'm selling, is a communication and getting to know each other. And this is what passing on that knowledge is huge for me. That's why I do the tables, and that's why I make all the stuff that I make, and that's why I do all the workshops that I do, is to pass that knowledge on that my elders had taught me, because that's otherwise it'll die, like a lot of the languages have died over the years. So that's our job as a knowledge keeper. You are a knowledge keeper as well for the things that you love. Continue sharing it. Okay? Do you.
Love that, Shireen. Yes. Debbie?
I couldn't agree more. I would say a few things is one, really, I think a lot of scary decisions or tough times can always be made easier when you have that crew in your court, have that support system. Don't fear talking about it. Another thing is I really don't believe in the what if. That just takes you down so many rabbit holes. Like, it's just a waste of time. Like, why not focus on being the best version of yourself and moving yourself forward, even when it's scary, those steps and those leaps and those bounds. If it was easy, we'd all be doing it all the time. That'd be no fun, So by being able to see those rewards, it will start to get a little bit easier to want to take those risks. And I really want to, say to you, like, do you want fear to be the reason you didn't flourish? Is that something you'd feel content with? So when something does feel scary and exciting, leap on it. Ask yourself, is it aligned? Is it safe? And take the chance. Go for it.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome back to Open Connection. Core values represent the essential beliefs that steer actions and choices of a person or organization. They serve as a guiding compass, shaping priorities and affecting how one engages with life, work, and relationships. In the next two segments, we're bringing you highlights of a Nation panel discussion, beginning with Frida Campbell.
Yeah, in my experience working with Skeena, we're trying to incorporate Indigenous values, Tahltan values, into everything we do, and it is really challenging. In the process to go through the environmental assessment process is established. So taking the time and trying to figure out how to incorporate Tahltan values into that process has been very challenging. So this is going to be very challenging. I'm very happy to see it happening as an Indigenous person, and the only thing I can, for when we're at that table and we're trying to do those things, you have to be very open-minded, and you have to be very come to the table with an open mind and an open heart and have those really difficult discussions. And we have to try and look at each other's, look at the world through each other's eyes and try and understand. I can't imagine how it's going to pan out.
From Ottawa, I haven't been intimately involved in this, but just some sort of high-level reflections. Like, first of all, I sort of get it. Like, if you find out that land that you're traditionally using and have for centuries all of a sudden has a claim on it, you're going to say, well, what's that? And what does that mean? And impact might that have on my future? Now, the vast majorities of claims amount to nothing, but it might be the one that amounts to something. And so you have an interest. You want to know more. You don't want to sort of find out about it when somebody shows up with boots on the ground to do some work. You want to have sort of prior knowledge and prior understanding. I mean, we see this actually manifest not just amongst this concern expressed not just by Indigenous communities, but cottage owners have a similar reaction. You know, they built their cottage in a beautiful part of the world, and then an explorer shows up. You know, and so all of that is fully understandable, and it, you know, it's a system built when we weren't thinking as the colonizers that you were there. This was just open land. You know, what did you matter? We could just go in and stake a claim and do our work. You know, because no one was there in our minds. But you are there, and you've been there a heck of a lot longer than we have. So it requires a rethinking and a reprogramming of the system. At the same time, you need to balance that with a couple of things. In our industry, you know, as Kylie was just saying, explorers don't have any money. They have to raise it. They have to persuade someone to give them money to do some work. And the most valuable thing they have is the information on the claim and what they think is there. And so if they divulge too early what that is, the investors may be worried. Like they'll question, have you really got access to that, or haven't you got it? So, and if there isn't a strong sense that they have a claim to work with, the investors won't come, and then nothing happens. There's also securities laws that require confidentiality, and so we can't do one thing with one law that contradicts other requirements in another law. So it's basically to say it's not simple, but I think to your point, Frida, by talking openly about the challenges that we need to resolve, we can get there. And I think, you know, I have every confidence that with open minds and open hearts, we will get there. And then BC will actually lead the country in terms of a fair and open process. And we've got 18 months to do it. So.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Nation and Nation events create spaces for real conversation with a passion and genuine focus centered on honest and meaningful collaboration between First Nations, industry, and local government, and women in leadership. In this final segment of Open Connection, Director of Sector Innovation, Kylie Williams shares why she attends Nation and Nation events.
If I could just jump in before we maybe change subject. Myself and my colleague Candace are here at this conference to listen and to hear from people if the MTA modernisation process affects you, or if you have thoughts on that. That's exactly why we're here and why we love this particular event, is that it's our opportunity to talk to and listen to people who are directly affected by this change. Whether you're a AME member or whether you're a First Nation that has mineral exploration active in your part of the world, come and talk to myself and Candace, because we're really interested in your thoughts and ideas, because we've got 17 months left.
So we have just a couple of minutes left, maybe some closing thoughts that each one of you have. You've been a very nicely well-behaved audience. I dressed up today, I just want to say, because I knew Joe Bevan was going to be in the audience, and I wanted to make sure, you know.
Engagement, start talking early, come to the table with an open mind and an open heart. There's so much you can find out about a nation online. There's so much you can find out before you're even there at the table. So you go with some prior knowledge and some prior understanding. And yes, just engage and talk and try to understand who you're talking to.
I'll echo that as well. Our mantra is engage early and often. and have the conversations and be open and willing to listen and learn. Our goal is to work with everyone to come up with a inclusive process that provides opportunities for partnerships with First Nations to develop the minerals and metals that we need for a low carbon future. Because as Diane was saying last night, she was talking about the forestry supply chain and how proud they were to see the trees that were harvested, and then the team that was putting them on the train, and then the train that was driving to the next place. I'd really like to see that kind of pride in the supply chain coming from British Columbia and Canada, because we do, like Pierre said, have the highest standards, and we have the rocks, and we have the people, and we have the processes to do it really responsibly. So I'm really optimistic that this, although short timeline, has given us an opportunity to really modernise and lead the way for the rest of Canada and the rest of the world.
Just a couple of things. First, I just want to ask my colleague Tara Shea to stand up. She's going to hate me for this, but she leads our Indigenous Relationship Committee at MAC, and so if you have any questions or want to know about the work that we're doing, find her as well as me. I dream of a time, and I don't think we're that far off, where when we think of mining, it's not about us and you. It's just us.
Ask students how many saw what happened September 11th and get a full show of hands. Ask them who has heard of Rwanda, and there's hardly a move in the room.
So 800,000 people were killed, mostly by non-weapons that we don't use today. So they were machetes.
It's estimated people in the United States have seen the footage of the World Trade Center collapse an average of 150 times. Lives lost there seem to have greater impact than those lost on the other side of the globe.
Feeling of proximity, we know New York, we know what it feels like to be there, or we can imagine what it feels like to be there. Rwanda is just a foreign body to us. We can't place it on a map, and we don't know anyone from there.
Even so, this grade 9 class will be getting involved in a war in Africa on a peaceful level.
With One Sky, we're going to be taking letters across from these students and some fundraising that we've been doing and books, and really have an impact on what the kids are doing there.
For 10 years, civil war has racked Sierra Leone and employed its youngest, children as young as 5 years old, into the army. This month, One Sky will go there to help out in classrooms nothing like this one. 10 things we feel about war.
We got sad, mad, scared, worried, disturbed, confused, and interested.
Cullen gets students talking about war in an effort to empower them, with a message to care and pay attention.
In the absence of asking any of those questions, then we simply just go along for the ride, and we can't go along for the ride in such important times.
That message comes with a reminder: we all live under one sky.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but the connection to his mind and heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.